Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Let's Debrief podcast. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jenna.
And on the count of three, we're going to say the word that describes our last 7 days. 1, 2, 3. Miserable. So if you were looking for a fun, happy podcast today, that is not it. I'm kidding.
Hopefully you guys can laugh at our pain because we both randomly had so many bad things happen to us this week.
Did you make a list of everything?
Yeah.
Okay. I did too.
Ashley said, sorry, she might be coughing a bit. But yeah, so we both have just, okay. Do you think this is a real thing, the compounding effect with bad stuff? How, like, if one bad thing happens, like, it almost, like, sets it off because, like, your attitude shifts and then, like, more and more bad stuff start happening to you?
I would believe that. I feel like I tried her.
Because it happened.
Because it happened, and I have experienced it firsthand. It's funny because I feel like some stuff did happen, and, like, some stuff on my list, it's, like, funny, but I'm like, that still really sucked, but... Yeah, I would believe in the compound effect.
Yeah.
Because, my attitude did slip. Where I wouldn't, if the third thing had happened to me first, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah. I feel like we should both just go through and give the debrief.
Give the debrief of our weeks. This is why you show up every single week.
This is exactly the scenario where we would use the word debrief and how we came up with the word, like the name of the podcast.
Concept, yeah.
Because it literally is like, give me the debrief. Like,
yes.
What happened?
Yeah, and if it wasn't for because Jenna has saved a story that I don't know about yet, but for the most part we know everybody or like about each other's weeks. But if we were just going back and forth constantly, it would be like us sending voice messages of like, here's the debrief of today.
Yes, which we also do extremely frequently.
Yes.
Do you have any like things that you want to say before you start summarizing your week? 10K.
10K. I was like, I'm running one. Yes. This morning, well, maybe it was yesterday, but I looked this morning. We hit 10,000 plays on the podcast, which is such. I feel like we talked about this before, but like obviously it's such an amazing accomplishment for us, and it feels really good. But literally, when we started the podcast, like the first week, I was like, I would be so happy if like over time we make it to 5,000.
Yeah.
And then it became, oh my gosh, like I think we hit 5,000 in like the first 2 months maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. But I just remember like each 1,000 I was like, oh my gosh, that would be amazing. And then now being at 10, I'm like, that's insane.
I truly feel like
Sorry.
I truly feel like I expected there to be like a weekly, at this point, I was expecting like 50 listens weekly.
Yeah.
As like an average.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, who listens to us?
Who would want to listen to me?
It's so crazy because like, I obviously know that my friends listen and my friends will text me and be like, oh my God, this or whatever.
If you can hear my dogs barking upstairs, they're fine.
I feel like you probably can. You might be able to. But yeah, like obviously I know like my close friends listen and they'll text me stuff about it, but then like random people will like DM us things and I'm just like, you
what?
Listen?
No, the craziest I think for me was seeing our merch orders come in and one of them being to Texas and one of them being to like
Wait,
Indiana.
Really?
Yes.
That's so cute.
I know. And so like that was like, like what the heck? Like, so I think it like started as like our friends listening, but then be like posting about it or telling their friends about it, and it's just gotten wider and like more vast, and I'm just like, this is so cool. Yesterday I was at work and I think everybody knows I work at a church, and our production guy was drinking a poppy, and I was like, whoa, like Ian with the poppy, and he was like, yeah, my wife listens to your podcast and you talk about it all the time.
And then another girl DM'd us a picture of like she got a whole case of them and she was like, I got the poppy because of you. And it's just like, I feel like we've just said this so many times, but it's just literally insane that people want to listen to us talk.
I know. And yeah, it's literally so fun for us. Like at this rate, it's been like maybe a week since we've recorded, maybe like a week and a half. And every time it's been longer than like 5 days, I'm like, I need the podcast back. I have so many thoughts. I need to talk. And it's just fun for us. Like, Jen and I are shooting a wedding today, and it's like really fun that like we get to hang out and do the podcast beforehand and then probably go talk for another 10 hours after this.
We will not shut up.
Yes, we have a problem. But okay.
So thanks for 10K.
Yeah,
everyone.
we
We
love
love
you
you
guys
so much. And yeah, you should share this with your friends. That was the best when we did the giveaway, I think. Or yeah,
we've done 2 giveaways
when
now.
People have commented, I like at someone like, this is the one I was telling you about.
Yes.
And I'm like, what were you saying?
What were you saying about us? They're like, this is the one I told you that had bad opinions and are
This
ugly.
is the one I told you that we would make fun of them.
So anyways, we love you so much. And on the topic of merch, coming soon. It'll be here.
gonna ship to us.
It's in production, and so it'll get to us, and then we will give it to you.
Yeah, I
So-
think it was a good thing that we were just like, it will be a few weeks.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
not like a specific date.
Thank God. Yeah,
Yeah.
but we, of course, if you're not following us on Instagram, we'll be posting updates, I'm sure, when it arrives, because we will be so excited.
We will be scavenging.
Scavenging.
Is that a real word?
Yeah. I don't know if it's best used in that context.
Okay, so you should start.
Okay, well, let me go pull up my list. I think I know. Yes, I was gonna say, I think I know what's at the top of the list. Okay, why does this make me want to cry? Just because I'm so frustrated with it, but this is definitely one of the worst things that's on my list. I have had poison ivy now for 13 days.
Which you said that in your in the last episode about the
I
poison ivy.
did.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it has literally ruined my last 14 days of life. Like, and that, like, I feel, maybe you might feel like that's dramatic. It definitely is dramatic, but, and maybe if I'm feeling brave enough, I'll post photos. But it literally, like,
I think it's so funny that you're like embarrassed of it because like it's literally
it's just so ugly.
like a thing that like I don't know is on your skin, but every time you talk about it, you're like, it's so ugly. Someone saw it, and I'm just like, it's just poison ivy, and you're
I
like,
know.
what if it's exposed and someone sees it?
Because I just think it's so ugly. So, to recap, I went to a shoot in a rural area. I was like, how like non-discreet do I want to be? I went to a shoot in a rural area, and the couple was like, oh, just so you know, we're walking through like poison ivy right now. And I was like, and I had poison ivy 3 years ago. And
Wait, can I just say this really quick? Tanner and I have recently been saying, like, how have we lived in Western PA our whole lives and we still are like, is that poison ivy? Like, when we see a certain leaf, we'll be like, that looks like it, but I don't know. I'm like, how do I not know at
Yeah.
this point what it actually is? You know,
Yeah.
like, while you're talking, I'm going to look up. a
yeah,
picture.
look it up. And I hate that there's like 3 of them. Like, that
And
it
then
could all
they say,
be.
like, leaves of 3, leave it be, something
Yeah.
like that. But when I swear it has 5 leaves, though.
For perspective, too. Obviously, everyone knows this because I don't shut up about it. But I wasn't raised here, and I was raised in a very city environment, non-outdoorsy, and so I'm just not used to even having to look for it. But yeah, 3 years ago, I got poison ivy all over my arms, and I don't even know how I got it. I think it was like my roommate. Oh gosh.
It looks nothing like I thought it did.
Let me see.
I thought it was like kind of like, do you know what I mean when I say like the leaves have almost like a furry texture?
Yeah.
That's it. That looks so not
That looks like a normal leaf.
I touch that all the time.
Maybe you're immune to it. That's an actual thing. Like people.
Yeah, I might be because I like used to get it a lot when I was a kid. I actually recently found a picture of when I had it. Like I would always like get it on my inside of my fingers and it would be like the little bubbles. But
yes.
It wouldn't really spread.
That's what, okay, so we were walking through it and I was like, okay, like what's the protocol for this? And they're like, oh, just go home and like take a shower, wash your clothes. And I was like, okay. And I was wearing pants, which I feel like I never do, like in the summertime. I was wearing pants and socks, and so
That's literally shocking that it got through.
yes,
It said
it's all all over my leg, like all over my shin and my calf. And I like came home and like I was like, cold, don't touch me. I'm like, it was consuming my thoughts because I was just like, I've had this before. It was so painful. It was so miserable last time. I just want to like wash off. So like went to the shower, washed off, washed my clothes, and I was like, okay, like I'll probably be good. That was on a Thursday. And then on Sunday it appeared, like the first little bubble. And I was like, that's not a bug bite. Like, that looks like poison.
That's not a bug bite.
That's not a bug bite. And so I was like, dang, okay. And it just, from there, just slowly started growing. And
I feel like it grew fast.
yeah, like, I remember, so that it showed up on Sunday, the Sunday before 4th of July. And on 4th of July, I would just be able to contain it by putting 3 Band-Aids on. And now it has traveled upwards, and it's like blistery at the top.
It's literally like the size of a football.
It's not that. Okay, you want to see it?
I'm literally scared that it's gonna give it to me.
No, it doesn't. Once it's like on, yeah, like, because I've taken medical professional advice now. But
Okay, yeah, so
in the beginning, I, like, obviously you've listened to this podcast, you know that we try to take like homeopathic holistic approaches to everything. And so I tried that at first, and honestly, like, I was like, it doesn't itch that bad. I'm just gonna let it like run its course. I'll be okay. Our friend Shayla, I was over at her house, and she was like, oh, like, you need to dry it out. Like, I'll give you clay. And she like made me a little clay thing, and I was like, oh, thank you. And after, bless you,
thank you.
I got that, and when like put it all over, it would dry and like crack over it. I was like, oh, I'm not itchy. Like, this is great. So I don't remember at what point that like I just noticed it wasn't going away, and it just, like, I don't know, like, I would keep the clay on rotation and it just wasn't working. And so I was like, okay. After that, my friend Heather, shout out to Heather, was like, you need to go buy this expensive like cream thing because like but it'll work. And I remember when I had poison ivy last time, she told me that, and so I was like, okay, I'm desperate at this point. So it's literally a tube this big, $50.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
What's it called?
Zenfil.
Okay.
And you just like kind of like rub it on your hands, make a paste, and like rub it on like the area. And that took the sting out like very quick.
Leave it on overnight?
Like, just put it on, and then it says in 30 seconds it should take the sting out. And honestly, I couldn't really tell. And so I like maybe left it on for like a minute, and then like I just did it when I was in the shower, and then just like rinsed it.
Oh, it's quick.
It's
you
quick.
Use the whole tube at once?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would have been so
more.
pissed. Yeah. And so I kind of was doing that like once a day, and it just didn't itch anymore. And so I was like, okay, like, again, I'll just let it play its course now and like whatever. But yesterday I was like getting so pissed off. I was just like, it is almost 14 days. It doesn't look any better.
It's not itching though anymore. It's just looking bad.
It just looks bad.
Okay.
And honestly, like, the main bubble parts, like where it first started, are now scabs and kind of falling off. And so like that's good. But now there's like this big of like the blistery like area.
It's like really red.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that has like been making me the most mad, because that looks like the worst. Like the scabs. Sorry if this is gross to anybody too, by the way. But like the scabs, like where the poison ivy originally was, just looks like I like bumped my shin on something.
Yeah, like you scraped it.
Yeah. And so that we were at, our church was putting on like a camp all day or all week. And so I was at the camp yesterday, and I was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. So we went to MedExpress, and I was like, give me a steroid shot, whatever you got. Like, I'll take whatever. They were so nice. And she was like, okay, I'll give you like a topical cream. And so I got a steroid topical cream, and I've been putting it on since I got it yesterday, twice a day. And so hopefully it goes away.
Oh my gosh. I swear
Miserable.
You have to be allergic to it because you were never exposed to it as a child.
Oh, for sure.
Because like when I've had it before, like I said, like I will get it like a few bubbles, like maybe like that big, and like it'll itch and suck, but like it doesn't spread, it doesn't get that like redness around it like you have, and it will go away like pretty quick.
Yeah.
So
I can't, and I was looking back on photos of the last time I had it, and I don't remember what I did like to cure it, but it was all over my arms, and it was during COVID, and so I had to go to MedExpress like in the height of COVID.
Yeah.
And
oh
it was
my gosh.
miserable. It was miserable. I have to cough. I'm sorry.
That is so terrible. I'm glad you're on the upswing. Although I will say, I did tell you to go to MedExpress
A long time ago.
the third day you had it.
Yeah, you're like, you should just go. And
Because if you like, if you are, I guess I do obviously understand like trying to do like holistic remedies first, because obviously I do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, now that you know that you can't really tolerate it, next time just go.
Oh yeah, it's a one.
because-
Yeah, especially this being my second offense, I'm just like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. And so, but also like the cream will for sure last. Like I have to use like the tiniest bit, and it's like a pretty like decent sized tube. And so,
Do not lose it.
do not lose it. So I'll be ready for next time. But I swear, if there's a next time, I'm gonna lose my
There
mind
will be.
in my next
You
80
live in
years of life.
Pennsylvania now. You're gonna get the ivy on you.
So yeah, that's the Ivy situation. Yeah, I guess that is an update from last time because I forgot
Yeah.
that we talked about it. But let's go back and forth. So you
Oh, okay. I'll go with my medical problem now.
okay?
Okay, so I don't think I said this. I don't think we recorded since this incident happened. No, we didn't. Okay, maybe I did. I don't remember. No, I didn't.
Whatever.
No idea. So so Monty got her first cold.
Yes.
She was warm for like a day. She didn't have a fever when I would like put the thermometer on her, but I felt like she had a fever. She was just super fussy and like snot just running down her face.
Yeah.
Like really, really bad. And I felt so bad for her. And we were like doing all of the holistic oils, everything like that. And she got better pretty fast. It was like 2 days, maybe 2.5 of super fussy, and then she like started to feel better. But I did not realize, and since talking to other moms, I found out that like it's very normal that like after or during a cold and like for maybe up to 2 weeks after, the baby just like basically won't sleep.
Oh.
Because it's just like it just messes with them.
Yeah.
So I didn't really realize that, but that was happening. And I was just like freaking out because I don't know if I've shared before, but we basically have gotten her down to like she just wakes once at night, which is a great place for me to be at. I know a lot of people like do night weaning and like whatever, but I would like to continue feeding her until she's 1, unless she lets herself like
Just sleep through the
wean
night.
off.
Yeah.
So we were getting like originally her wake up would be like at 2:30 to
Okay.
eat. Then it like started becoming like 3:30, then it started becoming 4, and then it was becoming 5. And I'm like, oh, she's weaning herself off of the night feed. Because
Yeah.
she usually wakes up around like 6:30. So I'm like, eventually she just will
It'll
wake
just
up
get-
in
yeah.
the morning. But this cold just like I've never seen her act like this before. She hates being touched. She hates snuggling. She will not sleep in bed with me. She does not want to be touched. She doesn't want to hug. She just want to lean her head on my shoulder. Nothing. When she had this cold, she literally would not let me take my hand off of her
It's so
at
sad.
night. But here's the thing. She wouldn't come in bed and lay with me. Because Tanner's like, so she wanted me to like rub her back or like pat her back.
Okay.
When we were so after the first night of that, Tanner was like, I'll just sleep downstairs and like bring her in bed with you so you
have
can
more
like
space.
rub her back during the night. Keep your hand just on her. And I'm like, okay, no. The moment she comes in my bed, she's like, hey, hey, rolling around trying to play.
And you're like, it is bedtime, miss.
It would be like 3 a.m. So then she would basically what she wanted from me was to stand above her crib rubbing her back. And I'm not joking. If I would take my hand off, she would start not crying, but just going,
She's like, please, mom.
So I was spending genuinely hours standing by her crib throughout the night. And
Would you
also-
fall asleep? Like, just like leaning up on her crib?
Yeah, and then I brought like pillows and blankets into her room, put them on the floor, and I would like put my hand up into the crib. And then also whenever Tanner would do it, she would not like that.
You're like, of course.
This was the first time she's ever like shown a preference to me or honestly to
Either one of you.
me of anyone. Like I feel like she could care less if a stranger was in there with her. But this randomly she was like, I want mom, which I kind of liked, but at the same
You're
time
like,
I was like,
Can you pick like a different
maybe
scenario?
Dad could do it tonight. So she's up all night. She's starting to feel better, but then I start feeling myself getting the cold, and I'm just like, ugh. So then our friends came from out of town, Nachi and Gio,
Woo woo.
and I'm sick while they're there, and she's up all night. And like, obviously I loved having them there, but you know, people at your house, and then like everyone was coming over. We were doing activities all day long, and like we had a lot of fun, but I was just like so exhausted.
There's nothing that is more frustrating than doing something that you want to be doing, but then feeling miserable at the same time.
Yes, you're like, I literally want to be swimming at this lake. It's so fun, but I'm so sick right now.
Yeah. Also just cold, like you clearly can tell I'm on the hopefully on the other side of a cold, but colds in the summertime, it's like,
I gave it to you.
Why? Yeah, whatever.
I always get a cold in the summer.
And it feels so
one
dumb.
One summer, one winter.
Yeah. So stupid.
It sucks. But anyways, so I'm just like so exhausted, and then amidst all of this, I find a tick bite on my leg, and it already has a bullseye rash around.
Which also, you saying that like proves again, I did not grow up in Pennsylvania, but I didn't know, like, you look out for the bullseyes.
Yes. So basically, from what I've learned already, the bullseye, so you can get a tick bite and it not get a bullseye rash. If it has the bullseye, that means they gave you Lyme's.
Oh.
That's it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Okay.
They gave you Lyme's. You have Lyme's. So I never saw the tick. I just saw the bullseye rash. I had no idea when I got bit, and I was just like, okay. So I go to MedExpress. Again, like, we always try to do everything holistically, but like, this is like something you don't want to mess with.
No,
so
absolutely not.
I got the antibiotic, and they're like, okay, take it 2 times a day for 2 weeks. I'm like, okay. So I'm taking it for like 7 days, which at this point, like, I should have been like in the clear.
Mm-hmm. Is it like, twice a day for 7 days or something?
Yeah, well, it's for 2 weeks, but like the 7 days in, I should have been fine. So all of a sudden, like on the 7th day, I start getting really intense Lyme symptoms. Like I cannot describe it. My joints were aching, and that's like what they said.
And
that's
not even like a flu, or like when you have like the fever or anything.
No, I had a fever.
Oh, okay.
I had a fever of 101, and my joints, like my knees, my ankles, my hips, like my shoulders, they ached so bad. And I was just like, holy crap. And then at the same time, I'm still up all night with Monty, and I'm taking the antibiotic, which is not good on your stomach. And so, yeah. So,
but also in the midst of it too, you're taking the antibiotic and you're like, why do I feel this way? I've been taking the antibiotic.
To be like fighting the Lymes. So I'm like, did I get it? And it's like resisting the antibiotic. Like, what's going on? So backtracking a little bit, I went to a PCP for the first time in years because I've just been having all of these random symptoms, and I was just like, I just want to get like my nutrients and like everything tested to make sure I'm good for like my hormones, like everything. And so she did blood work the week before, and then I go back that week. I'm like, I'm back. And she's like,
and I'm miserable.
She's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I like feel like I have Lyme's. And she's like, I was just confused about what the vibes were with it. Like, should I just keep taking the antibiotic? What do I do? And also I should say, this is a little bit graphic, so if you get grossed out easily.
Okay. I didn't know where you were going with that.
You get grossed out easily, and I probably shouldn't even tell the story because it embarrasses me, but okay. I'm going to tell it, whatever. So I have the fever, my joints are aching, I'm literally dying, and I'm laying in bed. Tanner took Monty's monitor, and he slept in another room. He's like, just sleep tonight, which that was the first night that I've slept through the night since she was born.
Which is crazy.
Which is insane. But at 12:22, I literally sat up in bed, and my stomach was cramping so bad. I'm guessing from the antibiotic, and I was just like, oh my God, what do I do? So I go in the bathroom, and I was like pooping. Like, I had really bad poop cramps, and I was like having diarrhea. And I'm just like sitting there. It's like hurting so bad. All of a sudden, I start feeling like I'm going to puke. And our trash can in our bathroom upstairs is not like a plastic. It's like a woven basket. Yeah. And it was full of stuff. So I'm just like, what do I do? So I'm literally texting Tanner from upstairs. I'm like, Tanner, please bring a bowl for me to puke in. Please, please, please. I'm literally texting
See if you can wake him up.
Well, he was still up.
Oh, okay.
And I'm just texting, please, please, please. He's like, okay, I'm looking. And I'm like, hurry.
Anything.
And he's just like, I'm looking. And he was looking for like a bucket. But I'm like, you can bring anything. Literally.
We can throw it out later.
Yes, like, I'm like, I don't care. I'm literally in the bathroom going, but I'm pooping. So
Oh,
I'm like,
no.
What's better? Puke in the toilet and poop
on the floor.
or puke on the floor, poop in the toilet. So I stayed sitting on the toilet.
Yeah. That was a good call.
I hear him coming up the stairs, and I feel like my body was like, it's fine. And so I just go, and it's like in my mouth, like, but like kind of like falling out. And he like comes in, and he's like, here you go, and like hands me the bucket. And then he like goes like, here you go. And then he like sees what's going on. He's like, oh my God, are you okay? And I was like, give me it, please. And then I just start puking so much in the bucket. I actually puked on my Let's Debrief sweatshirt, but it came out. But all of that, like, that all happened. And then, like, the rest of the night, I'm, like, freezing, sweating, whatever. So I go back to the doctor. She's like, yeah, just keep taking the antibiotic. You're fine. But then she's like, I also have your blood work results back. And basically, everyone told me this when I was pregnant, but I didn't listen to them. But since I did a home birth, like all my prenatal stuff, I never had any labs done of like any of my nutrients or anything. Turns out that I was extremely anemic. Like,
that's why she loves the ice.
Yeah.
That's definitely not the sole
it
reason.
might be.
I mean,
people were like, you're anemic, that's why you crave ice. And I was like, no, you guys are dumb. I'm like the healthiest person ever. And they were like, no. And I was like,
no.
don't message me again.
I know anemic when I see it.
So
what does it just means you're iron deficient?
yeah.
Okay.
So it's supposed to be from like 60 to 170, and mine was 17.
Jenna, what does iron help you do?
Literally
Just live?
everything. She said like, this is the reason for all your problems. That's why I had restless leg syndrome, which also makes me go back to, if you haven't listened to my birth episode, you should go listen to it, because I talked about everything that happened with my home birth midwife. But she just kept saying, you just need to take magnesium. You just need to take magnesium. And I did all the magnesium things, and nothing ever helped.
She's looking at your blood work, and she's like, your magnesium's off the charts.
She literally said it was great.
That's
like,
crazy.
Everything else is perfect, except the iron. And I was just, so my midwife kept being like, you need this, you need this, you need this. And I even brought it up to her at one point. I was like, what do you think about the iron? She's like, I don't think that that's what's causing it, honestly, the restless leg syndrome. And now I'm like,
interesting.
cool. So at least it does give me hope for my next pregnancy that I might not have it.
Yeah, it's not just a you thing. Like,
Yes.
this is just what I suffer with.
Yes. But so anyways, that happened. And I think that now the antibiotics are kicking in more, and I'm fighting the Lyme.
You seem great.
I feel a lot better now. And now that people really make Lyme seem really scary, like it's like permanent forever. And
Yeah.
I think that was also getting to me mentally, because I was just like,
I can't suffer with this forever.
I can't have this forever. And I started to think like, well, what if I can't get pregnant again? Or what if I don't want to, because I'm like constantly feeling like this? Am I going to feel like this forever? What if like...
Those freaking dogs.
I really don't think you can
Okay.
probably hear them. I was just spiraling, and I think that was also affecting me a lot. But yeah, so that was like a lot of my week was not sleeping, thinking I had Lyme, all of that.
Yeah, and also probably going through like everything that your body was going through. Like, your body needed sleep, but you're like, I can't sleep because my baby
can't.
needs me.
Literally. So it was just like literally such a perfect storm of so many bad things happening to me, which I'll also add on another thing that I guess I don't really consider bad, but it's just kind of funny, that also is probably affecting the way I was feeling this week, was that I stopped breastfeeding. And so also, just so people know, if you stop breastfeeding, your boobs will feel like really lumpy, and like there's hard lumps in them for a while, which I was not expecting, and it kind of freaked me out, but it's fine. It will go away eventually. But mine like just finally went away, so I don't know if like my body is like adjusting to fully like not making any milk anymore. But my boobs are the size of the day that I hit puberty.
That was the perfect description.
They are one size bigger than a prepubescent child. Genuinely. They have shrunk down to nothing. Which
your boobs right now are probably what mine were when I was like 8 years old.
Genuinely, I'm not kidding. My sister said that. I showed them to her. She's like, Jenna, it looks like you didn't even go through puberty. I'm like, thanks.
Thank you. But you're like, we laugh because I feel like you don't care.
I don't care at all. I loved having small boobs before, and that was actually my biggest insecurity when I was pregnant, was having big boobs. I don't like how it looks on me.
I thought you were gonna, I don't like how it looks on people. I was like, oh, cool.
I hate it. It's really ugly. I just like don't like that feeling. And also, like, whenever I was pregnant, I feel like I had so many outfits that I just never wore a bra with. And I like had to go buy bras, and like it didn't look right with my outfits. It just was not my vibe.
Yeah.
And now I can go back to my like free people tight tank tops with no bra, and it's completely fine.
Yeah.
But if you are breastfeeding, you're expecting, you know what, maybe your boobs won't shrink. But I have heard,
It's literally different for everybody.
yes, I have heard a lot of people say that have big boobs. Did you see Kylie Kadich post?
Oh, no.
She made a TikTok. She's like, before I was pregnant, like showed like a bunch of like her boobs, like just not the straight boobs.
Yeah.
Just pictures.
But like pictures where you could kind of tell.
Yeah. And then she's like, when I was breastfeeding, and they were like huge. And then she's like, after breastfeeding, and they're like
Disappeared.
maybe a B.
Wow.
And she had huge boobs.
Oh,
She
interesting.
had like double D's for sure. So I don't know. It might be good for some people who are like, oh, I know my one friend is like, I'm terrified because I hate having big boobs. I'm afraid they're going to get way bigger. And I'm like, rest assured, they might shrink.
Yeah. I have said this to one of my friends recently. I was like, I have come to terms with like, I feel like no matter what, for some, maybe this is too bold to say, whatever, cancel me. But I was going to say, I feel like they at least they never return the same. Like 1,000% they will not return the same. And I love my boobs, and I love the size that they are, and I think they are very nice. And I have just realized recently, like, these are their glory days. These are their glory days.
Take the pictures. Well, okay, here's the thing, is like, if it doesn't change them from having kids or breastfeeding, it will just change with age. So
Yeah.
like, no matter what, just live it up.
Yeah, I don't need to go into any further detail, but I'm like, I will never be 24 with these boobs ever again.
Truly, yes. But the thing that is funny is like, literally me and Tanner have been laughing so hard. Like, I'll be like, Tanner, look at them. And he's like, Jenna, oh my God, they're so small. And we're just like laughing about it. And he's like, it's so crazy though, because like the moment that you get pregnant, they're going to get big again. And then when you start breastfeeding again, they're going to get even bigger. And then they'll probably shrink back again. He's like, they just will go through so many
It's just their
phases.
cycle.
Yes. And it's just so funny. But
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the smallies.
Well, yeah, enjoy it while it lasts, because we all know it'll be only 8 more months till you get pregnant again.
Who knows?
Who knows? Okay. The rest of mine aren't like super like intense.
Mine aren't either.
Okay,
Those
okay.
were like our big, like,
Those
we had
were
to
our big
really
ones.
explain it.
Okay. These next two, I'm going to combine two because they happened like simultaneously. I went to coffee with a friend sometime last week, and I was leaving coffee, and I was driving back to work, and there's been, just in Pittsburgh in general, the summertime, I guess anytime, there's construction everywhere, and nobody is safe from just like having the stupid stop sign or like the slow sign. And so there is construction that happens like on the road outside of our house. And I was driving past our house, and a semi truck or a construction truck was like going past me. And as he passed me, I just heard, chunk, and I was like, what the heck? And it just sounded like a rock like hit the windshield. And I was like, and I was on the phone with you, and I was like, oh my gosh, it sounded like a rock hit the windshield, but I don't see anything. And it sounded bad. So like, I would have saw it like if it was bad.
Did you say that when we were on the phone?
Yeah, but I feel like I was going through a bad area.
Yeah, we were like both like cutting out so much, and I
Yeah.
didn't hear you say that.
I think I briefly was just like, oh my gosh. All right, well, I don't see anything. And so I get to work, and I don't look at the windshield at all. I just kind of forget about it. And an hour later, Cole is going to get us lunch, and he goes out to the car, and I was staying, And I get a phone call from him, and the minute he goes like, hey, can you come out here? I was like, crap, that rock probably did hit the windshield and it cracked it. And
that's crazy because I feel like I've hit a lot of random like objects or rocks have flown up or whatever, and that's never happened to me.
Yeah, I don't know how it happened, but it happened in our Toyota too. And do you remember it cracked it, and we were like through insurance, like my deductible was going to be $1,000. And so we were just like, we'll wait. And then we literally totaled it like a couple weeks later before we ever fixed it. I would have lost my mind if we had fixed the windshield and then it got totaled weeks later. I would have been
for you.
Yes, because even like 4 months earlier, I had changed the tires on it and probably put like $800 in tires like into it, but I'm like, it's safer like now going into the winter, like I'll be like confident.
Wait, did you ever end up changing the brakes on it too, or no?
Yes, you're right.
And that was expensive.
That was expensive as well. Just some like, and there's literally nothing you can do about it. Like it's just one of those things where you have to acknowledge that it sucks and just move on.
That kind of goes back to what we were saying last week whenever like that person was like, how much of your life is work? And I'm like, a lot, because that's not work, but that's just life as an adult. Like it just, things happen. And if you can't like just find joy in every day and just deal with those things, you will be miserable.
Literally.
Like
and that's yes, exactly. That's what I feel
end up like us.
All of these things are, it's like literally just being a product of being an adult. Like outside of the poison ivy, it's just like stuff that just happens. And so I was like, I went out to the car and he was like, what happened? And I just like was like, I heard it, I didn't see it though, but yeah, that checks out, we'll figure it out. And so
was Cole mad at you?
No, he was just like, damn, that sucks. And I was like, yeah.
Do you think you would have been mad at him if it happened when he was driving?
If he told the same story that I did, because I was like, I did hear it, and it's literally in the bottom of like where your tags are, like your inspection tags. Yeah. So I like, from the driver's point of view, you couldn't see it, but in the hour that I was at work, and since it got hit, it hit on like on the tags and then like has spidered, like not really spidered, but it's more of like it goes with the movement of the like windshield wipers. It's like a rainbow art. Yeah. And so I was just like, all right, cool. And then so like we have to deal with that still. So if you have any good recommendations, everyone says Safelite. And they're like, it's free.
Safelite repair,
Safelite replace. Everyone was like, it's free. And yeah, it's free if you go through insurance, which like our insurance deductible now is $500. And so it's like, I just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But our inspection's up in September and it's right across the driver's point of view. So it's like, we'll need to get it done.
It doesn't. Like, this might be stupid. It doesn't, like, leak, right?
No. I'm terrified to take it through a car wash now, though.
Is there the potential that, like, it could just, like, fully shatter? Or?
No, because if you go up to it and, like, kind of, like, run your nail along it, you can't feel it. Oh. Like, on the other side. I feel like if it were to come through on the other side, it would be, like, bad. Very bad. We definitely need to get it. Okay. Yeah, we definitely need to get it taken care of. But as I was walking back into work, and I think I did tell you about this, but I got a notification on one of our credit cards, like they send me app notifications, and it was like $60 at Panera. And I was like, what? Like
this Panera? Do you know?
Oh no, I know, and it was in Missouri. And so Cole was going to Chick-fil-A and wasn't spending $60. And so I was like, what in the world? And so I'm like, get on the phone with Capital One like right away. And I was like, that wasn't me. So, but then I got frustrated with Capital One because they're like, while we have you, let's update your annual income. And I was like, no, somebody has my credit card number.
Make it stop.
And so.
And they're hungry.
And they're very hungry and they need their pick two. So please.
A lot of pick twos.
A lot of pick
Actually,
twos.
Maybe only two at the rate
Panera's
of
so
Panera.
freaking expensive. I think I looked at their order. It might have been 2 pick twos and then like probably with like the delivery charges and everything. And then it was like drinks and then it was like $60. So I thought I solved it with Capital One, but then I get an email from Panera and they're like, thank you so much for your order, Ashley. And I was like, oh, okay. So they know it was me, like whatever. I log into my Panera account and they're like, we're in the process of like processing your order. And I was like, cancel it now. Like it was like, you know, like when you go to Pizza Hut and it's like, shows like the process of your delivery. Like they had just placed the order, not like made any of the food yet.
How did they get into your Panera account?
That they hacked my Panera account and then like just
and
used
your credit card
was just
saved.
on file. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. And so
Well, that's like
it's better. Like it's better than them having my credit card and just running rampant. And so I see it says the address that it's being delivered to, and then it says like the Panera coming from this location. And I was like, well, I'm gonna call them. And also like I'm like talking through all of this, and Joe, I feel like we talked about him before, like he is in the office with me and he's the only one in there, and I'm just like vocalizing all of this stuff, and he was just like, get him.
he's like, yeah, okay.
Totally.
Yep.
And
wait, you should send them a letter to the address it was being delivered to.
Oh, that's such a good idea. They've tried multiple times since then because I set up
They're
2-step authentication, and so I get like a code every time that they've tried. But now I finally changed my password. And because in the moment I couldn't figure out how to change my password, and I was like, I need this to stop right away.
Stop it. Yeah, we should send something to their house.
Be like, leave
Listen
my
to
Panera
our
alone.
podcast.
We talked about you. So anyways, I called the Panera and
leave a 5-star review or
please.
else.
And I was like, this is gonna be really weird. I live in Pittsburgh, like, and someone just like, it's a fraudulent order, and they're like, oh yeah, we see it, we'll cancel it. Oh, I am so sorry about that, we're so kind. I was literally expecting them to be like, we can't do anything about that. And I was like,
I'm a former Panera employee
and you will do right by me.
I know how those systems work. You can cancel it. Button on the right, please.
Right.
The big red X, hit it.
Cancel. And so they were very nice, and they refunded me back. So then I thought in the moment that I had been refunded twice, but it was just the one time, because Capital One was useless, in short. So then that happens, and so I'm literally at this point like, I have poison ivy, my windshield's cracked, and someone has my credit card information. Like, they just had to log into my Panera. But so that was like my coupling right there, where I was very stressed, and I was walking around the parking lot. I called my mom, and I was just like, what's going on? Like, what's happening here?
You should also just add in the
other one,
the cycling one.
Okay. Okay, so I feel like I've said before, I have ClassPass, and so I just like to hop around and go to like a bunch of different classes. My sister and I love going, I'm not going to say where, love going to a 6 a.m. cycling class in Pittsburgh. And this time, Lou was supposed to come with me, but then she wasn't feeling well. She also has been sick. And she was like, I'm so sorry to bail. And I was like, oh, no worries, I'll still go. Like, because you get hit with like a cancellation fee if you don't go.
Really?
Yeah. And so I was like, it's fine. Like, I'll still go.
How much?
Like $14.
Ew.
I know.
I get it.
Yeah. So and again, I've gone to this class numerous times before. And so I was like, it'll be fine. And I wore bike shorts because, again, I'm like, I should let my poison ivy breathe. I feel like smothering it in leggings is not the move.
Yeah.
And so
sweating in it.
Yeah, exactly. So I get up and I get going, and I get there, and I'm driving past the building, and I look inside, and there is this girl at the desk that, in short, is Cole's ex-girlfriend.
His only
ex-girlfriend. And I feel like we have talked about, also we'll call, I feel like this is my normal name for girls whenever we talk about them on the podcast, but we'll call her Sarah.
You always say Sarah.
It's always Sarah. But yeah, his only ex-girlfriend, and I might have said this before, but like they broke up like a month before we started talking, and like it, like, I don't know, like, take it however you want. There was no crossover or anything, like, and we put off even fully dating because he was like, I need to emotionally, like, recover from this. And so, but I had only met her, like, one time in person. And then since they've been broken up, which has been over 2.5 years, like, never seen her.
Yeah.
And so I literally drove past the building, and I saw her at the front desk, and I said, oh my gosh. And of course, Lou wasn't there with me. And I was just like, I literally sat in my car and said, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
And
what do I
was
do?
Cole still sleeping, so you probably couldn't
Yeah.
call him and ask.
No,
or
I
say, "What
couldn't.
should I do?"
So I texted my friend Chloe, who is a nurse, and so I was like, she'll be up. And she knew this girl. And I was like, oh my God, you'll never believe this. And she's like, what are you going to do? And I was like, I don't know. Like, there's
I don't want to pay $14.
I know. And also a perspective I thought about is that she has had time to prepare for this interaction because she saw my name on the roster.
So now if she knows that you don't show up, you look like a baby.
Yes. A little baby that sleeps in and doesn't do cycling.
Yes.
Or
so-
drove past the building, drove 20 minutes, drove past the building and decided to go home.
Yeah, so you had to at this
I
point.
had to go in, yeah. And there's like 10 minutes till class. And everyone that I've told this story to has been like, couldn't you have just like walked past her and like not like said anything? No, at this place, which I feel like maybe it's like in cycling classes in general, you have to go to the front desk to check in. They tell you your bike number and then they give you shoes. So it's like, she is essential for me, like attending class. So it might sound a lot more dramatic, but like than it actually was, but it was just very awkward. Of course, I walked in and she was so nice. And instead of like, what's your name? Like she like was like, let's not pretend that we don't know each other. She was just like, hi, how are you? Okay, you're going to be on bike 10. And then do you need shoes? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, okay, size. Or I told her my size and she gave them to me and she was like, all right, cool. And like, I just walked away. And then when I left, she was like, bye, have a good one.
Do you feel like that was like a good, like, are you happy that happened? Because you kind of, I guess, now you've seen each other and interacted since the breakup?
Yeah, maybe like Cole and I have always talked about like what it would be like because also like we like the only time her and I have ever met was when they were dating.
Yeah.
And so, and then I don't know, we're like, oh, did she ever feel like there was any like foul play because like she knew she knew that Cole and I were friends like while they were dating and then like she's like, wait, why are they dating now? Like I don't know. We've always just talked about what our interaction would be like. And Cole was like, oh, of course I'd be nice and like whatever. And so now that I feel like it's happened, like next time I see her, I'll just be like, hey. Like,
yeah. So it's like, it kind of is good that it happened.
Yeah. So in short, she works there now. And I have not yet to go back since then. Also, I've been attending there for like 2 months now and never seen her. But apparently she's been attending for a while and now within like the last few weeks has been like working there.
Would you have known if you were in a class with her or do you feel like you're usually like head down?
No, I see like a lot of people before unless she like came in last minute and it's like dark.
Yeah. That's what I've heard. I've literally I've done one Pure Barre class in my life. I've never done like a workout class.
And you were harassed for weeks on end afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
Also I quit Pure Barre. I don't know if I've included that. Yes. That's brought me a lot of joy.
That is one of the good things that has happened. But yeah, I like never, I mean, I've gone to a few maybe in high school or whatever, but like I just hate the vibe of like
push yourself.
Yes.
And there was a class a couple weeks ago where the instructor was like that, and that was the one time Cole came with me. So
he was like, no.
He was like, Ash, what? And I'm like, it's not usually like this. But I'm just dying, like, thinking of, like, if I could have convinced Cole to come with me and what his reaction would have been. I also didn't text Cole at all in the moment because I was like, I need to save this for, like, when I get back home and see him. And so when I came back home, it was, like, 7:30 in the morning. And so I woke him up and he was like, how was class? And I was like, good, Sarah was there. And his eyes shot open and he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, she works there now. And he's like, oh my God.
Literally, what are the chances?
What are the chances? I say all of this, like, I feel like, again, because now our podcast has 10,000 streams, I'm like, who all listens to this? It's just one of those life things. I hope if this ever gets back to her, she'll think it's funny too. She was so nice. I had nothing to be nervous about, but it was just one of those things where you're just like, why does the
husband's ex?
Yes. Why? And it's just a part of being an adult. When you're dating and then you get married, exes exist.
Yep.
And it's just weird sometimes. But yeah.
We made it through.
We made it through. So that was like, yeah, one of my other things that I was just like, what's going on?
What is going on?
To survive 2.5 years without seeing someone and then all of a sudden it be the week that you're already having such a crappy time. It's like, what the heck?
Literally, what the heck? Okay. Okay, I have a few more things to say. One, so Madison got me this necklace for being her maid of honor from Missouri like 2 years ago at this point. And it's like a gold herringbone like the one that you have.
Oh, okay.
And like probably a year ago it broke. The clasp broke. And I was so sad about it, and I just have been putting off going and getting it fixed. Anyways, I finally went to a jewelry repair place, like planned it all out.
It's one of those things that you're just like, it has to get done, but when? And then when you do it, you're like,
thank God I did that.
yeah.
So, but also like I never want to like complain about like being a mom or anything mom related, but like it is a lot to like the places in Greensburg. So it's like a lot to like, you have to plan out the naps. Is she going to nap in the car? Is she going to nap right before and then she'll be pleasant? I can't just put her in the car whenever I want. So
It's a process.
It's a process. Basically, I plan my whole day around going and doing this thing. I go, I get it repaired. It was so quick and easy. He fixed the clasp. It was $10. I was like, awesome. I got like all my other jewelry cleaned, and I was like, this is great. Put it back on. Next morning I wake up, it's in my bed. It's
joking.
fully broke again.
Like, what? I need my $10 back, mister.
Literally, why?
That's so annoying.
And yeah, so that was annoying. The other thing is that since yesterday, my debit card is lost. I don't know where it is.
No.
Because Tanner forgot his phone, which has his wallet in it. So he was using my debit card, and then he keeps saying, I put it right on your seat. I put it right on your seat. I'm like, well, it's not there.
Have you checked your bank account? Like, did someone steal it and is using it?
Oh, no. Like, it's with us.
Oh,
somewhere.
okay.
I don't know.
I didn't know if he said he put it on your seat that, like, someone might have, like, taken it off.
It was on our seat in our driveway.
Oh, okay.
Basically. But, like, it's somewhere, or, like, someone moved in and didn't realize. It's lost. Okay.
It's lost.
Here's the last thing that I'm going to say about the bad things that happened.
We should force ourselves to say some good things at the end.
I do have a good thing to say. And so do you.
Surprise.
Okay, this is the last bad thing I'll say. So Tanner and I have been feeling a lot like we obviously love living in Ligonier. It's what we want for our family, and we love being able to be outside so much and like everything, but we're just struggling because there's not a lot of community there, like day to day for us. And
because I feel like you guys have found some good, like, older families that you, like, look up to who are maybe 10 years ahead of you, but you're also just like, I want people my age.
I want people my age who, like, I have no problem being friends with people who are different than me, but, like, I would love to have, like, core people who are near me who, like, also are Christians, who can, like, walk through, like, life with similar values as me, and also people who have kids. But unfortunately, most people our age don't have kids, and most people our age don't live in Ligonier.
Yeah.
So there's like a lot of older people, maybe late 30s, mid 30s, who are like in the same stage as us. They moved out to Ligonier, you know, they are enjoying the country life and they have children, but it's not like the same vibe that you and I have. All of our friends are here in Pittsburgh, and like we just basically for so long have just been like, did we like make a mistake? Should we move back to Pittsburgh? Like we don't know what to do. But then whenever we think about the reasons we left Pittsburgh, we're like, no, we don't want to live there either.
Yeah.
Like Ligonier is perfect. There's just no one there. And it's so like funny because like my mom's always like, but Jenna, I'm here. And I'm like,
yes, you are.
Mom, you're my mom. Like, I need other girls who are also like, I know that people understand what I'm saying. Like, whenever I say, this is not like to be superficial in any way, but like, if you are not the same like vibe as me, if that makes sense, like, if you are not like, this literally sounds so superficial, like dressing a similar vibe to me. If I can just tell that we're not
gonna click.
And
I feel like those like you can find those relationships that like are people aren't going to dress the same as you or like
Yeah.
maybe believe the same as you. And like you're like, that's great. I think you're a very kind person and we can hang out once or twice a month.
Yes.
But you're not going to be the person I call up like, hey, we're having a barbecue. Do you want to come over?
Yes, and like by like me saying like, oh, you don't dress the same, we probably wouldn't get along, it's not like so like strict, but like what I'm saying is like I don't go out and see girls who are similar vibe to me, whether it's how they dress, like just how they come off. And so like it's never even a situation where I see someone I'm like, oh my god, she's like, we look like we're similar, I'll go talk to her, like, and I just don't talk to her. I just don't see anyone who is like me around. And so anyways, I decided to start looking at like free kids activities in the area.
Very cute.
Because I want to see if I can meet some other mom friends. And so there's like this place, I won't say what it is because, you know, it's just weird.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
It's this place and they have like these free play 0 to 2 days where like just a bunch of babies and there's a bunch of toys out and everyone's playing. And I was like, this is my time. I need
to strike.
I'm going to meet someone here. And I was like going in. I felt like I was going on a date.
I was like, literally, why does it feel like dating?
Literally, I felt like I was going on a date. And I was like, okay, there's going to be all these other moms here. I need to look cute. Like, I need to dress cool so that they know that I'm cool too. Like, they're going to be here. I know it. And I literally go in, and there's probably 30 kids there.
Oh,
all
my
under 2.
gosh.
And not one person is even probably within 10 years of me. Not one.
Did you, I mean, I feel like you guys know a lot of people in Ligonier. Did you, like, know anyone that was there?
No.
Okay.
They were all like upper 30s and like again, this goes back to like, I'm not trying to be superficial by saying like how we dress matters that much, but they were all just wearing like Under Armour t-shirts and like I could just tell that they were just in a different mindset than me.
Yeah.
And I was just so disappointed. Like, I talked to a lot of people.
That was yesterday?
Yes.
Okay.
I talked to a lot of moms, and, like, almost all of them had, like, no interest. Like, I was going up to so many, like, I would sit Monty down with them and be like, oh, my God, how old? Like, ask them questions. And they would, like, not ask me anything back.
Oh, were they friends with each other and, like, they would talk to each other? Oh, everyone just, like,
everyone just, like, came
watches
to this,
their kids.
Like, thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then there was, like, one girl at the end who, like, talked to me for, like, a long time. But she was, like, 39. And it's just like, that's fine. Again, like, I could be friends with you, but like, are you gonna come sit on my couch and watch Bachelorette? No.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
And it's just like that just like really like tore me down yesterday because I was just like, I thought so much that I was going to like meet someone and
you were being so positive too. Like, I feel like it would have been very easy to be like, what's the point? I'm not even going to go. And then you're like, no, I'm going to go. And there's going to be somebody there.
I'm going to make a good impression. Like,
yeah.
I'm going to like make a plan for like a play date or something. And there was just no one. And
did Monty have a good time?
She had the best time.
Aww.
And like, so, but there's a few moms that I do know that live in the area. And I like literally while I was there, like texted a few of them and was like, let's plan something.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, it literally, you don't realize how crucial it is. And all of my friends who are moms, like, don't live here. And so, like, it's
not
great.
even like, oh yeah, there's some that like live in Pittsburgh, but I feel like, yeah, like you've said before, all of your best friends are like scattered. Like,
even like Lindsay, like I was texting her whenever Monty was sick and being like, what should I do? Like, she's in Vermont. Like, I'm just like, I can't just hang out with you. I can't just have you over for a bonfire, you know? And like, it's obviously great whenever you're with your friends that don't have kids. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But there's just something different about whenever you are with your friends who have kids and they just get it.
yeah.
And you're just like, okay, like, we need to go home for a nap. And like, both of them need to. And you're just like, it's fine.
Because I feel like there's, 1,000%, there's only so much I can even do to sympathize for you when you're saying Monty didn't sleep through the night, or like, oh, Monty, like, it was like extra fussy, and I'm like, oh, Jenna, like, that sucks. And I can't come back and be like, yeah,
have you tried this
Bill was doing the same thing. Like, I don't know. Like,
Bill,
our future baby.
Bill.
No.
But yeah, so I don't know. I'm still on the hunt. I found out that there's like this library program that I'm going to start going to. And it's so funny because my sister was like, wait, I actually do know like this cool mom. And she like told me like her name or whatever. And literally like her bio was like atheist.
Oh.
And it's like, again, it's okay to be friends with people who are not the same as me. But like, I'm trying to like meet someone that can be like really there.
I mean, yeah, and especially like as a Christian too, it's so nice when someone's response is like, hey, like you're having a hard time with Monty, specifically, how can I pray for you? Like, you're like, I need a little bit of that.
Yeah, or they just have the same ideals. Like, I don't know. I just don't want to like be like trying to hide how I feel around someone.
Yeah.
And it's hard too because like there's really no churches in Ligonier, and so it's like we've been on the church hunt.
You liked that one that you started going to, right? Did it
Yeah,
kind of just
we did. But Tanner like brought up the point that it's literally 40 minutes away, and
Dang.
like it's 50 minutes to drive to Plum campus.
Yeah.
But he keeps saying, he's like, yeah, but like it's in Irwin. He's like, that's not my community. He's like, I can't just grab coffee with someone from Irwin
Yeah.
any day that I want. He's like, that's why I want a church in my community, because I want to be 5 minutes away and go grab dinner with another family.
Yeah.
And it's not this like whole thing.
The biggest like struggle it has to be living, I'm just telling you what your biggest struggle is, but like living far away from people is because it is like a whole thing. Like when people come to visit, and like that's what we talked about when you were talking about your meal train, is that people like drove an hour to visit you, so of course they have to stay. They've made the journey, and it puts so much pressure on when people visit you. I'm not saying that I experience this because we're out near you all the time.
Yeah.
For even like other family, and so, but I'm sure you feel like that, where it's like, well, everything has to go perfectly today, and if Monty misses a nap and she's going to be cranky the rest of the day, then that really sucks because I ruined somebody's like whole trip and day.
And like I find myself like that's all I look forward to is like when my friends come and visit me, because I'm just like I have nothing like during the week that I really do besides work, because I don't have any friends to do it with. But that leads me into my last story, something bad that happened to me.
Oh gosh. So, I thought that because she didn't tell me this last one yet. She like texted me yesterday and was like, I'm just going to save it for the podcast. And I was like, okay, cool. So I thought when mom, because I hadn't heard about the mom thing. So I thought that was the bad thing.
So that was yesterday. I was really kind of down about it. And like all of these other bad things were happening this week. And so Tanner and I had a date night planned last night.
Oh no.
And we were like both really looking forward to it. We kept like getting into little spats this week. And like we just kept saying like, we just like really need this date night. Like it's going to be like really good. Of course, as soon as you put too much weight on something, then like it goes bad. So our plan was to get Chinese and go for a picnic.
That sounds so good. I was saying last night I haven't had good Chinese in so long.
Either. So our plan was to get Chinese and have a little picnic and like maybe do something else like mini golf or whatever. And I was just like so excited. My parents planned to come over and whatever. So they were coming at 5. I was putting Monty down for her last nap at like 4:45. I put her down and then they got there. I was like finishing up, getting everything.
Perfect.
I like made them dinner and we were like packing our bags to walk out the door, and it like starts pouring. And we're like, I guess we can't like do our picnic, but maybe it like isn't raining like in the place we're going. Like we'll just play it by ear. We'll figure it out. We'll maybe go to dinner somewhere else. Like we're just like, whatever, we're still going to go. As soon as we're like going to leave, the power goes out. And when I tell you,
did your parents text you?
No, like we were
You
still
saw
in the
it.
house.
Oh, okay.
And when I tell you that when we had those entirely huge windstorms, like our entire town's power was out, ours never went out.
That's right, yeah.
And so me and Tanner are like, okay, what do we do? Monty's monitor's like beeping and beeping because it's now disconnected. It can't see her and she's sleeping upstairs. We don't have AC in our house, and it was so hot, and it's like genuinely dangerous.
Disgusting, yeah.
If the AC in her room and our room, like you can't sleep there. It's not safe for her to sleep there if the AC is not on. And so I'm just like, what do we do? Like we just are like standing there and we're like, we'll just wait and like see if it comes back on. We'll just wait. and we're just like hanging around. I'm just like getting more and more frustrated because they're using up our time.
Yeah.
Like that we were going to be going. And I'm just like, I can't leave her here knowing that like she might also like they were going to put her down for sleep. And it's like she has to sleep in her room. That's the only room that's blacked out. That's the only room that has AC. Like she has to sleep in there, and now her monitor doesn't work. How are you guys gonna bath her? You're gonna
literally
in the dark?
sit outside of the door, see if she's like if she cries because you don't have the monitor.
Yes, and there's no service when our power's out. Like there's no service in our neighborhood except for like
your
on Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you can't even call me or text me if something goes wrong. And my dad just like is like, we'll just put her to bed down here in the living room. I'm like, Dad, no. It doesn't
It
work
ruins the
like
system.
that. I'm like, I'm not going to be up all night again. Like, no. She needs to go to bed, like, in the way that she needs to go to bed. She needs to do her routine. She needs to do it right. And they're just like, well, you guys can just go to our house and, like, have your date there where there's power. And I'm just like, no, I don't want to do that. And I was just, like, getting so frustrated. And they were just, like, kept being like, why don't you guys just go out in the yard and have a picnic? Like, just making me so mad. I was just like, no. Like, I need to figure out what to do with Monty. Then she wakes up. She's so hot and, like, sweating. And I'm just like, we can't do this. And so we're like, they just kept saying, you'll just have to come sleep at our house. You'll just have to come sleep at our house. And we're like, okay. So we literally pack everything
No, Jenna.
up.
No.
Also, I need to charge my gear for the wedding today.
Yeah.
So we literally pack everything up. Pack up her slumber pod, her pack and play, everything. Her sound machine, like
everything's been disconnected from the wall.
Yes. Bringing all of her milk, and then Buddy has to come too because he can't be in the house overnight by himself either. And then Julia's boyfriend is visiting from Harrisburg. They were supposed to have a date at my parents' house. They were cooking steaks. Now all 5 of us show up there. Dang. They're annoyed. Now we're annoyed. We just canceled our date night, and then we had to sleep there last night.
Oh, okay. I thought where you were going was that you were going to say that the power came back on as you were leaving the house.
It was on this morning, and Tanner got a text at like 10 p.m. that it came back on. So,
but still, Monty would have been asleep for 3 hours, maybe.
Yeah. No, it was so hot in there, and like, yeah. So it was just like not the vibe, but yeah, we ended up having to go sleep there. Like, had to sleep in this like small bed with her, set up the whole slumber pod, like do everything, and like didn't have our date night. And the thing that made me the most mad, that like my parents just kept being like, why didn't you guys go have a picnic in our yard? Like, just like saying all of that.
It's not the same.
I was just like, Mom, it's literally ruined now. And also, like, I had to plan this 3 weeks ago for you guys to come and watch her for one night so that we can do this. Like, it's not just gonna like it's not like I can just do it tomorrow, or it's not like I can just like redo it. It's just different whenever you have kids, and like now it's just not happening. And like it just is like, it made me so mad. I literally just want to bawl my eyes out the whole entire time. And then, of course, like, there's all this construction around my parents' house. There's all these detours. It's, like, taking an hour to get there from our house now.
Oh, my gosh. We had to take
Buddy. He's in the car. He's, like, breathing his hot breath on me. It was just, like, the icing on top of
this
like,
entire
everything.
2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, so now I'm just like, well, we don't even have another date night plan, so I don't even know when we're going to go on one. It's just so annoying. And that was, like, of course, the one thing I'm looking forward to. And now I'm just like...
And, of course, yeah, it's not even like you could do a family day today because you have to work. And I'm so sorry. That is tough. And that is why we are titling this episode A Series of Unfortunate Events.
Truly.
Because, yeah, and it's, like... Part of me is like, at least we went through it together.
Literally, because like every day this week we just like kept texting each other. Guess what just happened?
What else? Guess what else?
But we are going to pray that now it is over.
The rain and the storm is past, hopefully.
Please God, because I cannot handle anything else.
Yeah.
And yeah, do you want to say a good thing that happened to you?
Oh, a good thing that oh, okay. Well, I don't know if I talked. No, I just posted, I think, like on my close friends story, but I set a goal like for Cole and I to book a certain amount of weddings next year. My relationship with like photo and weddings has been so roller coastery over the last like 2 years. It was like, I am not going to do it. Like, I don't want to. And like, maybe I will. But more recently, we were just like, let's just take a few and kind of see how that goes. And so I've like put ourselves like out there more and like had people inquire, and I feel like that was kind of mixed in with like my bad week, is like so many people would reach out and then like literally get to the point of signing a contract and ghost. And I would be like, what the heck? Why? This girl like was like, hey, I know this is super last minute. Any chance that you're available on X date? And it was like a 3-week window and for just video. And I'm shooting with somebody else that day, but I was like, Cole's available. And so I was like, yeah, we totally are. Like, I'll like, Cole will be able to be there. And she was like, oh my gosh, this is like, and just going back and forth through email. She's like, this is like such a huge lifesaver. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. And I was like, perfect. I'll send you the contract. Send her the contract. And she was like, okay, just to be sure, like, you're good with the travel to X location, because it's like an hour outside of Pittsburgh. And I was like, yep, like that travel's good, like no worries. And she literally,
and she was like,
she said, I wanted you to say that you didn't like the travel. Literally, her wedding is now like a week away. And I've sent many follow-ups, but I was like, what happened? What happened? And so there was just a lot of those things happening, and I was so frustrated. But since then, it has kind of turned around, and there were people that reached out, and I was like, let me know if you like want to get on a call. Had 3 incredible calls like back to back, and they booked us for next year. So amazing. So that is really nice, and we're almost halfway to our goal.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I'm excited.
And we're going to talk about that because it's important to Special Drink Club.
What? Oh, I literally this entire time have like thought you were saying like, tell them that you're expecting.
Wait, really?
Yes. I don't know why. I was like, okay, we've kind of like overdone this bit before.
She's not expecting.
I'm not.
I'm looking over there at her new purchase that I want her to talk about.
Okay. I'll make it really quick. Of course, I'm sure you know Prime Day has passed in this last week. And so I was just perusing, seeing what was out there. And of course, you know, here at the Let's Debrief podcast, we are huge fans of Jenna's Breville. And so
that's an espresso machine.
Yeah. And it has really rocked our friend group. And so
rocked our world.
And so I was like, oh, I wonder what a Breville is like on Prime Day. Originally, I will say the prices because I want you to know like how good of a deal it was. Originally $7.50, on Prime for $5.50. And I was like, that is still a lot of money. Yeah. But wow, that's a crazy deal. And then I get like a pop-up on our like Amazon account, and it's like open the Amazon credit card and get a $200 gift card. And I was like, well, I have actually, and this is where I like need you to track with me, because I feel like people, it would be easy to judge me and be like, you can't just put everything on a credit card. I understand that. I understand that logic and that way of thinking, but I don't want to. No, but Amazon is connected to they own Whole Foods, and we shop almost exclusively at Whole Foods. And so Amazon has a credit card that gives you 5% back, like at Whole Foods. And so I've already been thinking about getting this card, and then for them to come on and say like, we'll give you a $200 credit or gift card just for getting approved today. I was like, interesting, because now my Breville is $3.50. Yeah. And it was just like too good of a deal to pass up.
Like, we have, since you bought it, had this conversation like of how much you actually would spend on coffee. Like, it's one of those things that people are like, oh, like that's so dumb that people like go out and get like lattes and stuff. Yeah. But like when I tell you that like unless you buy this level or better of an espresso machine, you cannot make those things at home. No. You seriously cannot. Yeah. Like people will be like, oh, why? Like, oh, you have to have your people that are like our parents' age that like don't get like a specialty coffee like vibe. They don't understand it.
Like the Keurig does the job. I don't understand.
They're like, oh, you need your special iced coffee? Just put your coffee in the fridge. And it's like, it's literally not like that. Yeah. And also, like, it actually is kind of like a hobby and an art.
Yeah, absolutely. At a certain
point. Like, I feel like Tanner and I are getting to the point where we make our own syrups, and like it's becoming like we experiment with stuff, and it's like it's literally a hobby. Also, going back to us living in Ligonier, there is not coffee around us.
No.
There is not.
No.
There
And
is
the
not.
one that like gave decent coffee for a while has been closed.
Yeah, and it's just like our favorite and pretty much one of the only coffees that we even like is at Kelvin in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And we are replicating it almost to a T, using their beans, using everything they use in our home every day, an hour and a half away.
For a $20 bag of beans sometimes. But like yeah. And so it is already like for sure, like for you guys 1,000% it's already paid for itself because of how much you would have been going out and getting coffee. But now Cola's gotten on like espresso TikTok, and it's like as he's been trying to research, and it's just so funny that people are always like, he was telling me yesterday that like someone posted about like, I think the Breville is such a good option. Obviously it's a big like price tag, but it's like really nice if you do want to be able to customize your own coffee, whatever. And someone commented, oh my gosh, this is like such a cheap like espresso machine just compared to like what you could get in this brand when it was literally like $6,000. And it was like, yeah, there's always going to be a better thing. Like there's totally levels of like Ma and Pa's coffee maker, like one pot coffee maker, a Keurig, a Nespresso, and then like a Breville. It's like, yeah, there will always be another thing. But yeah, as far as in-house coffee,
one household, it's the perfect thing.
Absolutely. So we're obsessed with it. We're still trying to figure stuff out. I think we need to get like, I want to get one of those like
the pads, tamping pad,
but like a new tamp that like it like really locks it in there. I haven't made one yet. Cola's just made them for me, and I feel like we're just like, did we tamp it too hard? Did we
Well, you can tell by if the needle goes into the range. If it's
always
enough.
making it into the I think it's always making it into the range, but sometimes it's just like not, I don't know, we're just like, that was close, but like not really, like taste wise.
Gotcha.
So we'll see. I've spoken a lot. You tell your happy thing.
Oh, my good thing is that Tanner and I have discovered a new brand of chocolate milk that we are obsessed with.
Ooh.
And it is Fairlife chocolate milk. We actually never buy chocolate milk. We literally only buy raw milk. Like, we just go out and get it every single week. I wish that they usually have raw chocolate milk at the Co-op in the city, but where we get it, they never have it, and we just never drink chocolate milk. But randomly the other night, he just brought home this half gallon of Fairlife. Have you seen it?
That sounds familiar.
It's just like a good brand, like organic, whatever, of milk. And when I tell you that this chocolate milk is the creamiest, it's literally thick. That's nice. So I wish I was drinking it right now. I actually really want to try making like a mocha with it.
Oh, that'd be good.
Maybe for like my sister, because she loves mochas. But it is such a good chocolate milk, and it's like, milk has like a lot of protein in it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
there you go.
That's my happy thing.
Yay. We now have to go shoot a wedding.
Pray that nothing bad happens to us.
Because together our powers might be combined and it could be catastrophic.
Our energies are bad. Yeah, we do have to go.
Yeah. We love you guys. And although it was kind of a downer, I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and maybe you've been having a great life recently and you can
we made you feel better.
Yeah.
Or if you are having a bad time, just know that we're right there with you.
We're trucking along with you.
Next week we'll be having a special guest.
Yes, we're recording the 2 in the upcoming days, and so we're very excited.
Yes. So
I feel like the people love having guests on. Like, I feel like those episodes always do really good.
I agree. So
we're excited. You're tired of hearing from us.
Yes. So don't forget to follow us on Instagram, like and subscribe. Smash that like button.
Smash that like button. Smash that subscribe button. We love you so much. We will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.